Then we have another topic to discuss in personnel.
All right,
It's correct digit.
all right. It is
Thanks, Joe.
10:01, and we're going to call this Facilities Committee meeting to order. Do we rise for the pledge?
If you'd like to, you don't have to do them
Oh,
every
okay.
committee
All right.
meetings, but I do love America, so.
All right, so then I start off, all right. Here we go. All right, so we did the call to order, and then the next is the roofing bid.
Yes. So, we put out for bid, the two sections that are still rubber roofs. The den is being taken care of by insurance. They're supposed to have a contract ready for me today. Insurance and Total Roofing have gotten together. It's taken a long, long time, but I think they've come to a mutual agreement on that cost. They should have a contract ready to go, and on Monday, you should be able to see that contract for the insurance portion of it. So, when actually Mr. Snuler wrote the specs for it, we had 6 companies come out to bid those two sections. The former facilities group, when we talked about it, we had talked about just getting the over the athletic entrance done. And we had projected at that time that was probably going to be closer to $100,000, just that spot. But we figured if we have someone coming out to look at that, look at both of them, and I'm not sure if it's just inflation's gone down. I don't see that in my pocketbook, but what has changed, but the combination of the two, the best bid came back from Total Roofing at $128,700. So that alone was only $28,000 more than we had thought it was going to be just for the one section. A friendly reminder that we do have a $50,000 school maintenance grant that will cover a portion of that, obviously. So we would be on the hook for $78,700. And so my recommendation on Monday night would be to get both sections done, both sections of the rubber roof done, and then the high school would be done for 20 years.
Well, it's 20 to 25.
There we go.
Correct. And that's all that up, state-of-the-art roofing.
There we go. And so if you chose just to do one of the two sections, it's a matching grant. So if you said, hey, we just want to do section B, which is the science wing, or we just want to do section A, which is the athletic entrance, the bid, I'm sorry, not the bid, the grant would only cover up to half. So.
And the entrance isn't covered by insurance, because that's where the pipe kind of burst, right?
Yeah, but the pipe burst inside the building. So this, the insurance portion of it is wind damage from a storm. It is
Okay.
it's not freezing damage.
Okay, okay.
So,
That
correct.
was one of the things, I knew
Yep.
somehow the wind got in there.
Yep.
I wasn't sure, I didn't know if, that
Everyone
could be
knows it's
finagled.
windy.
Yeah.
Stormy eyes.
Yeah.
As well before my time.
Yeah.
No, that's your time.
Did we get to look at all the former committees meetings for Facilities Committee? Because there seems to be like a giant difference in some of these bids. So I'm just curious, like what was included or not included, or were they relatively the same?
So they all had to bid on the same project, the same scope of work. And I can tell you some of those, and Mike could probably confirm on this, some of these, they would bid it. I mean, they want it, and then they'll sublet it out, and that's why it's more expensive. They want to make a little money
Right.
on it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, just for informational purposes, anything over, like, this amount of money gets put out, what's called an RFP or
Right.
request for proposal. So they put together a proposal that has like the exact specs, so kind of everybody is basically, apples to apples with
Right.
them.
Okay.
And it was in Bidet.
Yes.
It was posted in the Bidet,
Okay.
so.
And then how are the roofs on the other buildings? I know we did the elementary last year.
No,
we
No,
never
the
got to
elementary is
it?
next on the list.
We're not done with the elementary.
Okay,
Yeah.
So there are still the 2000 edition was done the same time as these roofs that are gonna get replaced. So the rubber roofs, they are leaking currently. We're trying to keep up with it from damaging too many ceiling tiles and things. But next year, I would want you to, it is to replace.
Last time I
the
wasn't
roof.
sure, I mean, do both of these sections absolutely need it more than the junior high, or not, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I mean, is it where we need to
We were-
do something else first? I understand that this is all
Right.
here, we're doing it, but like, is that a greater need?
We had constant leaks in the band room here. And so what I wanted to initially do was the gym roof. And that was gonna be a lot,
Yeah,
like 300
yeah,
grand or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And then Mother Nature decided to blow the roof off, so that
Help.
moved everything
Thank you,
over.
thank
So
you.
now it's the band room area, so that's how that came about.
Okay,
And the grant is written specifically for the high school. So
Okay,
we couldn't
okay.
use that 50,000 for the elementary. My plan is, because this is gonna be FY '24, so this will be on the next year's budget, because we're past FY '23. And so the elementary,
Be the next-
we'll probably meet again in
Okay.
July or August, June or July next year. I'll have a new maintenance grant that would go towards that, specific to the elementary. And then the plan is to do an RFP at that time. for
okay,
the
okay.
elementary. And then the junior high is,
Junior high is, will be next.
We'll be after that.
so.
So the elementary is started, so that, whatever that project was is done now? Or are we still like working on this project?
So when he says started, it's kind of like here at the high school, we did that section first, and then we did the gravel roof
Right.
over this. So it's been in phases, so
So that
yes.
phase is done now, so we're gonna.
Yeah, there's no
talk
roofing
about
being done at the
this. Okay.
elementary right now.
Correct. Well, we primarily have the 2000 edition and the roof around the multi-purpose room. I think that's it, so then, and that's where it's leaking
Yeah.
currently, so it's right on schedule for failure.
All right. The softball fence.
Oh, any other,
No.
before,
Oh,
you
sorry.
good with this? I mean,
So,
any other I'm sorry, Ashley, I don't mean to.
So who are we recommending?
Total Roofing had the lowest bid of 128,700.
Okay.
128,700.
They've worked here a number of times, they're very good.
Okay. I'm good with that.
And unrelated, they are the ones doing the den through the insurance company.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, all right.
Any other questions or comments? All right, the softball fence.
So this has kind of been a bane in my side for 5 years now. This would be my 5th year here. It's both a, I know we kind of said that there's now units on the roof, we want to protect the units. I have a bigger concern with, we still have parents, family, kids who like to go up there. When the salt pump goes up there, well, I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna go up the ladder and go and grab it. That's my rationale for getting on the roof of the elementary. I don't like that. I think we've been very lucky for nothing to have happened to anybody who was up on there. So what I would like to see, and Mr. Snow has already started looking into it, is the south side, we're not gonna go all the way around, but on the south side, raising that, what did we say, 8 feet, 10 feet?
The height would be 8 foot,
So the additional 8 foot
by 45 feet.
by 45, there we go. And that will hopefully stop the foul balls. That should fix the trajectory of the foul balls going onto the roof. Now, we've only gotten one bid so far, it was kind of informal conversations. It's
Yeah,
around-
I've called a number of companies, and I didn't realize this, but the fencing companies have to be licensed in the county to work in the county. So some of them that I contacted, they said we can't come, we're not licensed in Will County. I said, "Okay." I called a local fence person who always is looking for work. She never returned my call. I did get fence masters out of Chicago Heights who did the extended fence at the baseball field a number of years ago. They did give me a price, and it's not fencing, it's netting. So the poles are gonna go up and it'll be netting.
Right. So, and that number was around $10,000.
$10,881.
To give you an idea what it would cost.
And this was done in March. I don't know if prices have gone up since then. I'm gonna say yes, because everything goes up, but that's what it started out to be.
So what I'm asking from the facilities committee is that something that you guys would like us to pursue and actually get a formal bid from them? It is less than the required 25,000, so we don't need to put it out for bid. But, as Mike just alluded to, we've called multiple companies out there to try to get the best price we can. Or if this is something that the board or the facilities committee says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So when you say the concern is, like, there's a ladder, like what, like an access ladder or a fire ladder?
Yep.
There's a fire escape, a pull-down fire escape, and it got so bad in years past that I put an alarm on it. So every time it gets pulled down, I get a call saying that somebody's on the roof. And it just happens to be always during a softball game. So, and I've gone out here and I've yelled at parents and I've yelled at coaches to get off the roof, and they just look at me like, you're just a tool in the toolbox. I don't care what you say, I'm going on the roof. And they got chairs up there, and they're on the edge of the roof, and they're watching it. Some of them are just up there watching the game. And I said, what are you doing?
I just did that a few years, but.
That's been okay.
Yeah, that's
It's
been-
true, it's a true
Yeah.
statement, it's a true statement, but
Yes.
it's been, we've done a better job of getting them off the roof
Yeah.
and no chairs up there, but yes, they even announced, I think, from up there at one point.
Yes, right. There's some of the grade school teachers were up there with a table and a camera, and they were announcing the game from the roof.
Mike's making this sound like it happened last year. Come on, Stu, look at some.
It did happen this year, you're killing me, kid.
Okay.
So,
It's one of my biggest pet peeves is people going on that roof.
our goal is to minimize any sort of rationale why someone would go up there. Because then we can, I guess we can almost put it, no trespassing.
I have a sign there, in Spanish also. And it's not-
Yeah, because you can't block it, because it's
Right, no,
fire
no,
escape.
I
No,
can't
you
chain it up.
Yeah,
or
you
anything.
can't,
Yeah.
so that's a safety, so.
But we're trying to remove the rationale of why go up there to get a softball, dot, dot, dot.
I told the coach, I'll give you money out of my pocket, buy more softballs, you know, and I'll go up there on Monday and get it for you.
Yeah,
So,
because that's hard, if we have any balls up on the roof, it's like, once a month, the janitor goes up there and throws them all down, like, we're not allowed to go get them and whenever we want.
and actually, you did mention, we actually do have hail guards on the
Yes.
units themselves, because I did
Right.
ask GRP about that. So, he's like, if a softball hits it, it probably isn't gonna do much, if any damage at all, but, I still wanna,
Liability of people going up there.
right, but I still wanna minimize the amount of times a softball digs into a very expensive.
Most of your hail is not softball size.
Right. Right, so,
That's a pretty good chunk.
so is that something you're fine with Mike pursuing, and, is there kind of a cap you want us to make sure that we fall under? I said, yeah, he found it for 10.8,
Yeah.
so do you wanna say no more than $11,000 when we go out and ask for people before I bring it to the board? Is this,
I mean, I understand the rationale, that we want to keep people off the roof, but $10,000 you know, to enforce people following the rule. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It's 2 seasons out of the year. Because you've got junior high from July to September.
and they also
High
hit,
school.
they also hit windows.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they can hit, I'm sorry, I should also,
Yeah.
I mean, the school is there, I mean,
Right.
they have hit, it
But
has
what if it
shattered.
hits a car, like, is the school liable or no?
No.
Okay,
No.
I'm just making,
Too far.
just making sure.
We have those super fancy signs that says school's not liable.
Yeah. But, no, it'll break a window. We had a brand new gym first day with the gym, 2 softballs, couple windows.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I guess I should have
Yeah.
also.
Yeah,
This
so
isn't
something like
specifically
that,
to
I
keep
can-
parents off the roof, I
Yeah.
should have said it that way.
So, I mean, if there's multiple reasons, but, you know.
So currently, when the alarm goes off for the fire escape, I used to tell the company, yeah, it's somebody from the softball game. Now, I don't say that anymore. I say, send the police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking, I was like, I would be like, send the cops every single time.
Yes, please continue that until we figure out that.
Can they, I mean,
Yeah.
can they get fined for doing that? Because that's, I mean, a safety concern. I don't know, like, how.
You
that
have
would work.
posted, no
It is posted, no
trespassing.
trespassing. So-
But yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
can call it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence too, because it
Aha,
does seem
I like what you did there.
You can try. Because I do understand the rationale, but that's like a good chunk of money that maybe we could use elsewhere where it may be more needed.
So if we did this, then how long does it, you know, how long does the netting last to, you know, like if it's $10,000 and then, you know, like, are we gonna have to replace the netting every, but,
Couple years.
I guess that's another
Oh, no,
question.
I'm
So I
sorry.
guess if
I
it's
mean-
like what we saw, I'm not saying it's like what we saw down south, but, or whatever, west. The Peoria fields were phenomenal, and it was extremely sharp, and I would say those things would last quite a long time.
Well, the baseball field has been up for 8 to 10 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the netting between the softball and the soccer field's been up for 4, and I mean, it's still going
Yeah, because I
strong.
didn't want it to be like,
Yeah.
okay, we invest $10,000 and then. we
Every 2 years, let's do it again.
Right, like a couple thousand every couple, you know, 2, 3.
And the bulk of that cost is the poles themselves.
Installation, yeah.
It's not the netting itself, it's.
Then that's a pretty strong. We've kicked a handful of soccer balls and not gone into softball. And it's held up.
And that length and height, that should
Well,
That's
cut that out? I mean, like, balls
Yeah.
are still gonna go up there, but like, what percentage do we think, like, it's gonna stop?
Oh.
I mean, is it like, that height is good, it should be good?
you know, to tell you the truth, we just picked a number, let's make it 8 foot. An 8 foot would bring it to about the same height as at the baseball field now.
Would it cover the windows enough? Like if we're gonna justify 10 grand to protect our windows, are
I-
we covering the windows? Or at least enough of the windows?
I think 8 foot definitely would make sure the windows themselves don't get
Yeah.
hit. I mean, you have to have pretty good trajectory to hit the window now.
Right.
An extra 8 feet probably takes the windows out of question. Can I tell you that there's not gonna be one girl that just hits it just right on the underside, gets some backspin, and it just, no. I mean, just like the Muskies still can hit foul balls and somehow manage to hit, you know, the cars that are in behind there.
Oh,
But-
at the baseball games, the balls go all the time
Everywhere.
over that. I said, the balls still go way over those fences in baseball field. That's why I wanna make sure if we're doing this, we
Right.
need to make sure the height and width is what is supposed to be.
I would say the majority, it's not like 30 balls go up there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't- okay.
It's enough that somebody could get hurt, but I think.
10 to 12 probably.
Yeah, but I think the majority of those would not go up there.
I think it's eliminating the liability issues. The big,
Mhm.
so I would be for it.
One kid gets hurt, there goes your 10 grand. Now there's much bigger financial, we don't put some safeguards. And we can say we've done X, Y, and Z. So it takes one person to look there.
Well, I mean, I think maybe we can, it doesn't hurt to look into
Yeah.
pricing and
Okay.
things like that and then bring it back.
I'll keep you guys updated.
But you want me to get additional pricing? I mean, additional bids? Is that what you're saying?
So but I thought you said you bid it at March, so would we have to read?
Oh, I don't, their quote says it's good for 15 days, but, you know, I don't know, I haven't talked to them since March. So I do have to talk to them again to see if
Okay.
they're gonna hold
Yeah.
this price.
Okay.
Anything else on that? All right. Property on Miller and Racine.
So I know this isn't a problem that you guys, I shouldn't say problem, this isn't a situation that we're gonna solve here today. I just wanna give you guys an update. The solar farm came back and said they're unable to use that property because the grid of ComEd isn't viable for us to have a solar farm where it's located. Actually, I believe Beecher itself isn't able to hold solar farm, as I understand it from from William. Van, that's not his name? Yeah, it's his name, I think so. So he's apologetic, he did offer solar like specific to buildings, but.
I was what he was like, I could suggest carports, and I
Yeah.
was like, where are we gonna put carports? Like, have you seen our area?
When I read that, I was like, where are their carports?
Yeah, so now we're kind of back to square one that we were last year. And again, the reason I brought it up to the board last time was Bob Barber at the village, and I'm assuming when Bob retires, the next person's gonna get phone calls from a plethora of people saying, hey, is there property around Beecher that we can buy, use, lease, et cetera? And Bob kind of knows that we have that property sitting there. Do I still have Bob engage with people and give them our phone number, or do we?
What is going on, what is going on with that property right now? Like, we own it, is it leased
It's
to
farm,
farmers?
yeah, farm.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
There's a gentleman who farms it, I actually want to say it's right across the street.
And a portion of it is in the TIF district.
Correct.
Now, what does that mean?
It means it's a very valuable piece of property for businesses.
Because you get a tax break for so
Correct.
many years, like, I don't know how many years are left, but usually they're like 20, 30, 50-year
Yeah.
tax, it means you don't have to pay taxes for that time if you do anything on it.
Okay.
It's a tax incentive.
The guy farming it, we're not getting anything off of it.
I mean,
Oh,
he gives us a little bit of money, but,
Okay.
we did get it. I know we had an idea what it would cost, what we could sell it for. I can ask Mr. Whalen to give us an update on what that was now that everything is gone up in the world. If you just wanted to have it sit there,
Because we don't pay anything on it, and we won't pay anything for a while until the tip runs out. So it's not costing us anything, it was gifted to us, that was a big discussion we had last year and stuff like that. The problem is, it's not really usable for
I was
us. I
gonna
mean,
say,
it's a
too.
great gift, but it's kind of one of those gifts that is kind of unfortunately worthless to you.
We can't
Because-
build a new school on it?
No, the grade, we looked into that too, like, okay, maybe if we eventually ever did like a sports complex or anything like that, and the grade is so uneven and different on it, it's just not doable. There's,
and again, not.
where it's cost effective.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do a sports complex, you're looking at low end $10 million, $15 million. We don't have that in our future. So even if we wanted to build schools up on there, that's way past Jack Game as superintendent feature time.
I mean, as long as it's not costing us money, I don't see a problem with keeping it, just because you never know what's gonna happen in the future. And you never know where we're going to get financially, where maybe a point in time where we have to sell it. We're not at that point yet, and then if it starts costing us money, that's a whole nother conversation. Because I don't think the school district should be paying money for something that we're not getting any use out of.
Well,
Sure.
we're
Yeah.
And who knows? If the new airport comes in, we may.
Yeah,
the
maybe
big
worth a whole lot
warehouse.
more.
There you go. Amazon.
Amazon, there.
Okay, then I'll just, we'll sit on it, and if Bob calls me about people who want to put breweries there, I'll give you guys a call. That is the phone call I got.
All right, elementary school playground.
This one is, Mr. Stanula apparently
I have
has
some
some pictures for you.
So, in case anybody is
So if you,
not gone to the,
if you've gone over to the elementary,
Yeah, it's very
there's,
sad.
and there's minimal water. I know we've seeded it before, but it's a dust bowl. And there's not a whole lot we can do about that unless you want to put irrigation systems in there. So Mr. Stanula came up and we generally don't know what to do with it. You can't sod it because again, you
Yeah.
don't have water there. And when I say don't have water, yes, we have a water spigot that's 100
right,
yards
there's not
away.
enough
and-
pressure
Yeah.
really to get it sufficiently watered, and then we have to move the sprinkler around. I did call a company up that puts artificial turf down. So that area, it's about 7,500, 8,000 square feet. At $25 a square foot is about $190,000 to put artificial turf down.
$190,000.
For a soccer field to get turf
Yeah.
about 2 minutes.
So, I guess we're here to tell you,
I have no idea what to do. We can't
Right.
seed it.
you can't seed
We
it,
can't
you
keep
can't
kids
sod
off
it.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
I mean, I don't want to, but I guess you could mulch it and have the entire playground mulched, but then it's a mulched playground and
Yeah.
Yeah, they, kids can't play
As
Right.
soccer.
Of elementary school children, if they come home with any more wood chips on their clothing.
And where is the new preschool playground going? Anywhere near there? No? Did they just buy a little
Yeah.
early childhood one? Did they buy it? I think PTO just bought an
It's,
early
yeah, it's
childhood.
this little one right here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's already in,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's not.
They put it in.
So, yeah, that's between the mulch playground area and the school.
Right, so by school code, I have to put mulch down under the playground
Yeah.
equipment. But that's all.
Yeah.
There- And the kids.
I
a lot of kids use
I
it.
don't see anything wrong with it. Like, that's more grass than I had in Texas at the playground. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it was all just there. I mean,
But then our kids
If
being,
you, sorry, if you hang out after school, the kids, they don't care. The boys run rampant playing soccer and football, they don't give two craps that it's.
yeah, it doesn't
what
look,
could-
it doesn't
It doesn't look
great.
nice, but it's not
Again,
hurtful.
and I know you guys are representing the community, and I'm sure somebody's probably brought it up too. I just want to be 100% transparent, Mike and I do. There's nothing we can do about this outside of
Yes.
spending $100,000 to $130,000 to make
And
it
that's
look
not an
artificial.
expense,
No.
we don't have that
I
luxury.
mean, you could plant a tree in the middle of it, I guess.
Yeah.
The only landscaping thing people have ever said is they wish there was more bushes and trees around the physical building. But like
Yeah.
it would look pretty by the front doors. I've never heard anyone complain about the
Yeah.
playground.
Yeah, are there
I think that's
concerns
enough.
about that, or just the look of it? Is
It's-
there, the
I mean-
teachers,
Yeah,
like the
it
people
does
who
look kinda
working, is
janky.
there
Right, everyone
issues
kids
with
don't
it?
care.
I mean, outside the fact that when kids come in, they're dusty and it's
And
dirty.
they bring in a lot of mud.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
mud,
that's,
when
that
it's
was gonna be
raining.
my question.
Yeah,
Like after they come
injuries.
back from recess, are they dirty and muddy, is this causing, you know, into the school, that's more.
Well, it doesn't rain in Illinois anymore, apparently. No. Like when it does, 100%. I mean,
It's muddy.
you have a significant uptick in dirt and mud.
It was a mild winter relatively to the other ones, so those kids were out every single day, just
Yeah.
about, and it tore up everything.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna, I can guarantee it's not gonna grow back this year.
I mean, if you want us, we can have somebody seed it and we can try to water it, but
I think it's
it's
just
not gonna
money
hold.
being thrown
Yeah.
out the window.
No, I would
But-
listen.
I mean, again, like, I don't have elementary
I didn't.
students. I haven't heard anybody
No.
saying, I mean, maybe if it continually dirty and then it gets muddy, and they can't play in it, then people may, but, you know, like you said before, if it's a rope, I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't
My
look
kid
great,
plays in it every day, soccer.
but it's a playground.
He's
Colton and Josh
never-
are always out there playing.
They play every
They
day in
don't
it, and
care.
they've never complained or come home
As,
with,
as I tell my wife, if you're happy, I'm happy. So that's all that matters. In connection with the playground, Mr. Stool has or will put up the
Oh, they're done.
The hoops are back up over at the elementary. We now have cameras on them, so if somebody decides to make a mistake and break something nice that we just put back for the community, we will be pressing charges. So I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. I understand if somebody dunks on it and it happens because they're Shaquille O'Neal, I get that. But we're not gonna stand for is people who are going to destroy our property.
Yeah.
So I want to make that abundantly clear. The rooms are back up. They're 9 foot. There's 2 9-foot, 8.5, 9 foot, 1 10-foot at the elementary, and then there's obviously still working over here. But just want to make you guys in the community aware that the basketball hoops are up again.
Do we have any, like, notice that there's cameras, or that we would, you know, that they're liable for, you know, coming onto the school property and damage and things like that?
Nobody reads signs.
And it covers you, you wanna press charge on it.
For those of us who work in the sign industry.
There are
Insurance
signs,
company.
this is keep your pets out of there.
Oh,
Might be wise for insurance reasons.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
I'll go.
We'll get us, and if, yeah, we'll say.
Cameras.
monitored by
Yeah, you're being
cameras.
correct, yeah.
Play at your own risk. or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
slide and
Well,
fancy.
Whatever.
A good lawyer tell you that means nothing.
Right.
But,
Just to say, like, there's
destruction of-
cameras
Yep,
that
destruction of
will-
school property
Yeah.
will be,
Yeah.
will be prosecuted, yeah. We have to find a sign person. Signs, more signs.
All right, anything else on that? No? All right, Township Bay Door.
All right, so this is a new one. I just got a phone call from, actually, Mike Smith over at the township. And we obviously share the township building, that is Washington Township, that's out there on Indiana, it's our bus garage. And so the township has one half, and then the school district has the other. We kind of share a mutual space, it's a wash bay. Last year, Mike was in conversations with our mechanic and found out that those doors both need to be replaced. The township has replaced one of them, and since it's a mutually shared space, and the other door needs to be replaced as well. So that's kind of on us. So this is more of a, hey guys, just want to let you know, there's a bay door that's going to need to be replaced. The last one cost them have you talked to Mike about this? Okay, the last one I believe he said was $9,500 for everything to get
Oh.
fixed.
I thought it was
That was
going
like-
the other
I
way.
know.
I was like, no.
Like 90,000, I thought you were
no,
gonna
no,
say.
No,
I was like,
no,
that
it was a very
open
positive
air concept
conversation
now.
between. No, Mike Smith and I had a very positive conversation. I said, I don't foresee any reason, you know, it's an intergovernmental building, we'll do our part to make sure it keeps up, but I wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. I'll have Mike Smith order the same exact door that they ordered last year. I'll tell him to try to keep it up. I think he said it was 9,300, but that was last year. I'm gonna ask him to try to keep it under 10,000, just so you guys are aware. So if you see that come through, that's the conversation it is. Unless you're adamant and want me to go back to Mike Smith and say that we do not want to be part of this township anymore.
Wow.
Then we gotta figure out, where do you wanna put the buses?
It was a nice lead-in though, with the making them think it was 90,000.
Oh,
9,000, no problem.
yeah.
I know, it was like.
There you go. And I know I've said this before, and I'll continue to say this. I understand where we're at in terms of budgeting. If I bring something to you guys, I promise you, it's something that either is needed or it's for the benefit of kids. I promise you, I'm not gonna bring you something that is just a willy-nilly spending spree. And so everything that I brought to you here today are things that make sense, they're safer for kids. Like even the roofing thing, I mean, in 3 years, we could have all these roofs taken care of, and Beach will be in a good position for almost 20 years of not having to do anything. And so that's almost $200,000 you're gonna be able to sit in the bank or spend somewhere else. In 2 or
Preferably
3 years.
saved, so in 20 years, it's there and we're not in the predicament we're in.
Correct, so. That's all I got. Oh, no, we're gonna seal coat bid. Every year, and again, this is one of the things I actually know about, because I used to do it with my father-in-law. Seal coating, you should be seal coating your parking lots every 2 years. And so, Mike, you said.
Right, so last year, we had the elementary school, the east and the west drives done, and the high school, just the west drive. And it was $12,736. This year, so the west drive of the east drive of the high school where the teachers park, and the student lot is up for, on the rotation. And really, the elementary school east drive could use it again. That is a pretty old, that seal coating keeps it from drying out. And when it dries out, it cracks. So it's drying out fast. That could be done. The junior high was done 2 years ago. It looks pretty good. We could almost wait another year, but next year it should definitely be done for the junior high. So it's about the same square footage. If we did the student lot, the east drive, and maybe the east drive of the elementary school, so figure around $12,000–13,000 again.
So what I'll have Mike do is get bids on those. Again, we'll probably use the same, the company that we've used a couple of years, we might call a few of those just to make sure that there's still a reasonable number. And that would probably be a July board approval. Or maybe even a special board meeting at the end of June, so July can be a board retreat. But Mike brought that up, and I want to make sure that you guys were aware of that as well. Seal coating is very smart money to save big money in the future.
Unless Jack, you could do it.
I can't, well, I need a sprayer. I can do driveways, 100% I can do driveways.
I don't want to squeegee in a brush.
That's what I do driveways with, yeah.
Get a bunch of kids.
I was about to say, all these high school kids all
That's a
just
terrible
walk
idea. Unless you want your sidewalks black, it's a terrible idea.
All right. Is there any public comment? No. All right.
I did want to, I talked to Mike last week, I think, and I think it would be good if the committee went around with Mike to the facilities, and maybe if Mike can do up a punch list so we can do get a plan.
That's a great idea.
I like it.
We have
To
the,
talk about today,
Oh, no.
No. He's like, this
So-
is not a great idea
we
today.
provided the board that last year with all 4 facilities. I'll update that. Mike and I will work and update that punch list, and yeah, I'll get that to you guys for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And as always, you're more than welcome at any point in time. If you don't want to do it
Would be
today.
good to walk around and see, these are all of our facilities,
Yeah.
what they look, it's good to know, just.
Just give you a heads up, and I'll gladly walk you around, or Mike's better company, I guess. Mike will walk you around. Not Meyer. Stu.
How about everyone? We want like a parade.
You could.
All right. And then, this meeting is adjourned, is that all I have to do, or?
Yeah, you got technically,
Yeah.
don't do a call for it. Oh, we don't even have that. Where's the gavel? Oh, Ashley had a chance to use the gavel. Thanks, Joe Duncan.
They're very, committees are very informal.
It's 10:38, call the meeting of the Personnel Committee to order. All members are here. I see no one seeking the floor, so I'll ask for a motion to go to executive session.
So moved.
Second? Stacy was here.
No, it's who's on the committee.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No.
yeah, sorry.
Oh, yes.
Diachenko? Yes. Flores?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Hanson? Yes. Motion carried.